Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be my November and December reading plans. This is my last TBR video of the year. I can't believe that we have 2 months left for 2025. The year just honestly flew by. I don't have a book haul for this month. I will probably have one closer to December or at the end of December. Also, I won't be doing a solo October wrap up. I only read 5 books in October, so I'm just gonna wait until the end of November and I will do a bi-monthly wrap up for October, November together. So I'm just gonna go through all of the November and December new releases, then the re-releases, and then everything else that is on my TBR. I will of course link my Goodreads list down below if you want to know more about these books. But for November we have 11 brand new releases. Thrown for a Loop by Serena Bowen. This is a hockey romance. It follows a hockey player and a figure skater, and I believe it is also second chance romance. Eternal Ruin by Tejas Grima. This is the sequel to Immortal Dark. I am very excited to read this. This is a young adult vampire story. I cannot wait for this sequel. I'm so excited. The House Sapphire by Marissa Meyer. This is a young adult fantasy. This is the tale of Bluebeard as it's never been told before, a thrilling romantasy and murder mystery. The Sacred Space Between by Kaylee Reed. This is an adult fantasy. A devout iconographer must paint an exiled saint in this scrumptious gothic romantasy full of slow burn tension. If You Claim Me by Helena Hunting. This is the 5th book in the Toronto Terrors series. This is a marriage of convenience, I do believe. And the heroine, I think, is a librarian and the hero is a hockey player. The 7th Champion by Sylvia Mercedes. I think this is adult, but I'm not 100% sure. An adult fantasy. A dragon princess joins forces with a scarred prince to escape a competition for her hand in marriage. Unaware he is hiding dark secrets of his own. This cover is just stunning. I absolutely love it. An Academic Affair by Jodi McAllister. A charming new romance about 2 English professors who embark on a fake relationship only to discover that it may be harder to pretend than they realized. Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck. A jaded 20-something is stuck living at home, her life on pause, when a single dad becomes her new neighbor and unexpectedly sets her life and her heart into motion. Dear Heart by Layla Cove. This is a friends to lovers romance, I do believe. The summary is very vague, but I do believe it has to do with letters. It says, to everyone else, they're inseparable. To him, they're best friends. To her, he's everything. I'm obsessed with this cover. It's gorgeous. I'm usually not a big fan of letter-related stories, but I'm keeping an open mind for this one. We'll see. Then we have Violet Thistlethwaite is Not a Villain Anymore by Emily Krumpeholtz, I think. A powerful plant witch and a grumpy alchemist must work together to save their quiet town from a magical plague in this debut cozy fantasy romance about starting over, redemption, and what it really means to be a good person. And then the last November new release that I am excited about is Twisted Ice by Melissa McSherry. This, I believe, is a adult bully romance. Oh, and it's step-sibling romance. The summary is very vague, but I saw some promotion for it on Instagram and it said bully romance, NHL player, and step sibling. That was enough to convince me to put this on my TBR. Then for December new releases, we have 8 books. The first one is The Mating Game by Lana Ferguson. This is another werewolf shifting romance. 2 wolf shifters reluctant to love discover there's no fighting the call of the wild. Something Wicked by Fallon Ballard. This is an adult romantasy, a seductive romantasy that blends Macbeth and Moulin Rouge into a hypnotic saga of sex, love, and murder. This honestly was a cover, not a cover buy, but like a cover put on my TBR immediately type of thing. I am obsessed with this cover. It has really, really bad ratings, but the book is obviously not out yet, so that is from early reviews. I'm not sure if I want to read this one exactly. I'm gonna wait until it's out for a little while to see what other people are saying once it's released, but I'm obsessed with this cover. Then we have Better in Black by Cassandra Clare. This is 10 original love stories from fan favorite to couples. I honestly didn't even know that Cassandra Clare was releasing this, to be honest. I just randomly saw it once on Instagram and I was like, what is this? I think it might be out in some places, but I think for Canada it's coming out in December. There's going to be short stories for Jason Clary, Will and Tessa, Simon and Izzy, Anna and Ari, Emma and Julian, James and Cordelia, Kieran, Mark and Christina, Thomas and Alistair, Sebastian and the Sealy Queen, and Jocelyn and Luke. And apparently there's also a sneak peek at the Wicked Powers, which is the last ever Shadowhunter series. I'm very excited to be back with these characters and then get a sneak peek at the new series. Then we have Duke by Jessica Peterson. This is the 4th book in the Lucky River Ranch series. I haven't read the series. I haven't even started it yet, but I do own Cash and Wyatt. I still need to buy Sawyer, but I just have a feeling I'm gonna love this series, so that's why I keep talking about its newer releases, because I do think I'm gonna love it. I am also obsessed with all of the covers and the designed edges. And this is just another cowboy romance. Then we have Blue Willow by Kai Stevens. This I think is like a magical realism romance. When Elsie Hart returns to Blue Willow for the first time in 8 years, it's only to settle her grandmother's estate, not to rekindle old memories or untangle the magic she's worked hard to forget. But the inn she once loved is more stubborn than it looks. So is the man who's been keeping it alive. In a town where quiet magic lingers, some people and some places will never stop waiting for you to come home. It just sounds really cozy and cute, and the cover is definitely giving fall winter vibes. Then we have The Madman and His Broken Princess by Cora Riley. This is another mafia romance, I do believe. This is a standalone. I don't know if this is about other characters that we might have seen in some of her other books. I'm not really sure. I haven't been keeping up with Cora Riley, but the cover and the title definitely have intrigued me, and I know that I usually enjoy Cora Riley, so this was just a book I automatically put on my TBR. Then we have Bluebird Gold by Devney Perry. This is the first book in one of her new contemporary series. This is also historical. It takes place in 1983, where a woman's search for the truth about her father's death entangles her with the small town sheriff and a legend of lost Montana gold. And then the last new release for December is In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams. This is the 4th and final book in the When in Rome series. I believe this is Friends to Lovers. It follows Madison and James. And I believe James is Noah's best friend, and Madison is Noah's sister from the first book. Now for re-releases. For November, there's only one on my list, and that is The Hot Shot by Kristen Callahan. This is the 4th book in the Game On series, and this is the new cover. This is Friends to Lovers, and I believe the male character is a football player, and I think she's a photographer, if I do remember correctly. I mean, that is what the cover is giving, but I read this years and years and years ago, and I remember loving it. I have really loved this entire series, and I'm really happy that there are new editions out for everybody to buy and experience a series for the first time. And then for December re-releases, I actually have none on my list. I don't know if there are any re-releases that are coming out in December. Obviously, I try my best to keep up with re-releases, but sometimes it can be a little difficult because there are so many books and authors that I love, and a lot of books just randomly get picked up by publishers. So I don't think there are any that are coming out in December that I'm excited about, but let me know if there are any re-releases or new releases that you're excited for the last 2 months of the year. Now I'm going to talk about some other books that I'm hoping to read in November and December. The first one is a book that I'm actually currently in the middle of, and that is Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. I started the audiobook in October, but I ran out of Spotify hours and I don't really want to physically read this. I'd rather just continue with the audiobook. So I'm waiting until my Spotify hours kick in for November, and I will finish this at the beginning of November. But this is just a witchy romance. I am enjoying it and I'm excited to see what happens in the end. I'm currently on chapter 20. I really want to try to read Frankenstein. I might actually listen to the audiobook, or I might try to like listen to the audiobook and physically read it at the same time, if that makes sense. I started this last year and I just couldn't focus, like I couldn't really get into it. I might try a mix of the audiobook and physically reading it, but I want to read this before I see the new Frankenstein movie from Guillermo del Toro. So I want to read this before I see that, and I really want to watch the movie, so I need to read this first. And then for the rest of the year, I really want to focus on my most anticipated releases. So at the end of last year, I made a video talking about all of my most anticipated releases for 2025, and I have been trying to read them throughout the year, but I have a good amount that I haven't read yet. So I'm going to quickly go through all of the most anticipated releases that I haven't read yet that I really want to get to. I really want to try to keep up with my most anticipated releases. So I'm hoping to read some of these. I'm obviously not going to read all of them, but I am hoping to make a pretty good dent into them. So we have Promise Me Sunshine by Carapace Stone. I also haven't read Overruled by Lana Ferguson yet. Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. I really want to read this. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I really want to read this, but I'm torn because I kind of want to save it for closer to when the second book comes out, because I have a feeling I will just forget everything that happened in this one. So this one I might save for a later date, but I would like to try to read it before. We'll see. Realm of Thieves by Karina Halley. I have Big Borrow or Steal by Sarah Adams. I definitely would need to read this before I read In Your Dreams, so I would like to get to this. I feel like I will probably read Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. I love Ashley Poston. I can't believe that I have put this off for so long already. I should have read this when it came out, but I am hoping to definitely read this one before the end of the year. And then we have The Heartbreak Hotel and A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. This is really short. I feel like I could breeze through this. Same with The Heartbreak Hotel. That one's pretty short too. So I feel like I could read those for sure. So You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley. And then we have Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. These are a majority of my most anticipated releases for this year that I have not read yet. There were a couple that I have on my Kindle. Like there were a couple of ebooks I think that I had, but I really want to try to focus on the physical most anticipated releases. So I'm going to try to read some of these before the end of the year. So those are all the new releases for November and December, and all of my other reading plans for the last 2 months of the year. Let me know what new releases you're excited about, or what your reading plans are for November and December. I know I don't have any Christmas romances on my TBR for November and December, but honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Christmas romances. I think I honestly just haven't found the right one that I've loved. Maybe leave some of your Christmas romance recommendations down below. I definitely do have a few on my physical TBR that I could possibly read, but I do want to focus on these books instead. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.